Hi, welcome back to High Heels Happy Hour Podcast.
Welcome, welcome.
I am still Christina,
And I am Ingrid.
or I am Christina this week, since I've spent some time in the mother country.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought it was Eva.
Well, that's true, but never there. It's more here.
Oh,
I'm Eva when I travel. I've been Eva a lot.
That must be fun to travel. You like a different,
It's like my international. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just to clarify, my legal first name is Eva. It just happens to be the one that's the order of the name. In Sweden, you can place your middle name first or second or whatever. Doesn't matter. Whatever sounds better, like the order of names. So my parents thought that Eva Christina Hansen sounded better than Christina Eva Hansen. So they put Eva first, Eva Christina. And because of the order in the US, you're just called by the first one.
Yes.
That's your legal name. So my legal name is Eva. So when I travel, since my passport says Eva, I am Eva Pernfors now. And Michael is Bengt Michael. So we're Eva and Bengt when we travel.
I think that's awesome. To be
Yes,
little
our alter egos are traveling professionals. Yes, but it's a little bit confusing sometimes. I wish I could change it, but I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure changing it is worth the process, but
it shouldn't be that hard.
No, you gotta get new passports. You gotta ask for a name change. I don't know. Anyway, so, but when I'm in Sweden, they call me Kristina, not Christina. So I've been in the mother country. But
on that note, why did you check in?
Okay. Okay. So I've been in Stockholm for 2 weeks with my mother, who has had some health issues, actually going through cancer treatment right now. Prognosis is good, but of course, treatment is tough. So, but I was happy and lucky enough to be able to go home and be with her for 2 weeks. And she is a tough cookie. Got some good genes there. She is tough, both mentally and physically. So she's hanging in there. How about you?
Well, that's awesome to hear. You know, I always check on. I always say mom. I was like, how's mom doing? Because I'm assuming she's just my mom too.
Yeah.
Good. I talked to my dad, which I don't really do too often. So
can come a little closer to him. Don't be afraid of the mic, Ingrid.
Okay. So I'll be visiting him soon. My brother just went, and I have not gone to see my dad by myself ever.
Really?
Yes, really.
Wow.
So
didn't you a couple of years ago? Or was that with the kids?
With everybody.
Oh,
everybody went, and that was actually the first time to speak to him in 30-something years. So a couple of years ago was the first time I spoke to him, and I've never gone by myself.
Okay.
So that's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting because I'm thinking the windy roads in Puerto Rico. I'm thinking I do not like to drive on windy roads. They're so windy that you have to beep the horn in order for the other person to come.
Because they're super narrow too? Oh,
and I just won't drive much.
Yeah, I drove in southern Italy once. It was not.
So I think it's similar to that.
But I was young and didn't understand how dangerous it was.
Now I'm old and I'm like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's good. That's good news and something I'm looking forward to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But now it's important. You got to take the chance.
Yes.
So what is our life hack?
So my life hack, I'm going to do. So one of the things I sometimes do when I bake or I cook, you have to separate the yolk from the egg white when you crack the egg. So I saw where you can take a bottle, just any bottle, like a soda bottle, and squeeze the air, like a plastic, squeeze the air, just a little bit of it, and place it over the yolk, and just suck it out.
I've seen that.
Not like don't squeeze all the air out because then it's gonna.
Then you get all the egg white too.
Yes, but just gently, and it works awesome.
Oh.
Especially if if you need to use a yolk later on. I know sometimes you
Mhm.
use recipes that is egg white and then
Yeah,
you do the yolk
especially
later.
if you're making meringues.
I love
It's only egg
meringues. Do you like
whites.
meringues?
Love meringues.
What?
Yeah. I mean, they're super sweet, but I mean, every now and then I like a good meringue.
I
But
should make some of those.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
that's my hack for
That is
today.
your hack, the
Yes,
plastic bottle hack.
yes.
Okay, I have an app hack.
Ow.
So in the past, and we might touch on it today too, so it might be very relevant for today's episode. I talked about high intensity interval training,
Mm.
HIT trainings. And I said that it's something, you could do yourself with running or biking, or you could do it I do it like mailboxes, but I wanted to do when you don't have specific targets and you kind of want to keep track of your pace, because high interval training is all about going full force for a short amount of time and then recover. So, and it's not about going 75%. No, it's about going 95, 99% all out. So sometimes it's hard if you don't track yourself. You might,
So
really
almost dying.
almost. So I found a free app called Interval Timer. So you can set your workouts, how
Oh.
long you want each interval to be. It could be 10 seconds, 20, 30, whatever. And then how long the rest should be, and how many repetitions you want to do. And then you can also I just pick bleeps, so just beeps each time. And you can play it so you can have your own music still on, and the beeps just go on when you're supposed to either go or stop. It gives you 3 beeps and then it stops. So I thought that was a great, and you could do it in so many different, you could do it with circuit training, whatever you want to do, but it's a free app that you can use with your own music. Because I tried to find on Spotify music that was already
Times.
timed, but you couldn't find anything that worked for me.
You know what I just learned?
No.
That I have to share more with you.
Oh.
Because I have an app like that, and I'm like, wait,
Oh.
why didn't I tell
Okay.
Christina?
Well, yeah. Why didn't you? But now I found one,
I
a free
think
one,
that's
and
awesome.
I like it. So if you want to do interval training, use Interval Timer, and you can create your own HIT training.
Yes, and share with your friends, because
Share with your friends, because apparently some people just like to keep all the secrets for themselves. So I'm gonna put we put it in the show notes.
Yes, we will.
The name of the app and all that. All right. So today we are back on our. I think we're going to talk about a lot of health in October. We talked a lot about mental health in September. October is breast cancer awareness. There's a lot of awareness
There's
things
always something.
but I think it's a topic that never gets overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also noticed from our listeners that it seems to be popular when we talk about health and fitness, and how we can just make or hacks to for a longer, healthier life. So today's episode is all about that stubborn weight we can't seem to shed.
Up until now.
And I will say that again, we are not doctors. We are not nutritionists. I am a certified fitness instructor.
I am not.
But this is not medical advice. So if you, should always consult with your physician if you're changing anything drastically. But it's from own anecdotal experience, something I've been going through recently that I wanted to share, and kind of how I switched things up. But I think we're not talking the huge weight loss here. We're talking those pesky, sometimes 20, but sometimes 10, 5, 10, 15 pounds that you might have lost weight and then it just plateaus. And why can't we seem to lose those last pounds? Anyone feel
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth. Just kidding.
okay.
I've had, yeah, well, I probably know what I need to do, but
Huh?
I will listen to what you have to
Okay.
say.
Good. Good. Because maybe you learn and some of the things I will say too, I am guilty of having done the wrong thing forever
No.
and ever and ever.
You?
Yes.
Uh,
Um, you heard it here.
oh my
I
God.
admit. But recently, having found some great podcasts, um, I like Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She's kick butt good, so I think everyone should check her out.
Mm.
There is also the most downloaded fitness podcast called Mind Pump. It's 3 guys. It's really great podcast too. And they're very informative. I do like Thomas DeLauer. There's a lot of good fitness and health. Um, and it's not about just looking good. It's about longevity. It's about how we should just feel better. So, are you ready to learn to understand why it might be that you're holding on to some pounds?
I am ready. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. So, the first thing I want to say is when we talk about losing weight, there's a huge distinction. That's between fat loss and weight loss. Because if you want to lose weight, you could just cut off a leg, right? Cut your hair or.
I've tried that.
Yeah. So it's not about weight loss, what the scale says. It's about fats. Because most of us, we don't want to lose muscle. We don't have that issue that we have too much muscle, but we might have too much fat. And so it's not a fat weight issue, it's a fat issue. So we want to decrease our fat percentage, our body fat percentage, and we want to increase our lean body mass. Yes?
So I have a question.
Yes. Ingrid, she raised her hand.
I raised my hand.
See that? Yeah.
So what you're saying is that probably indicates that you should not pay attention so much to the number on the scale.
Exactly. Because
wow.
muscles weigh more than fat.
So I've just gained a lot of muscle.
Well, they do take up less space.
Oh,
so if you're shrinking, but the scale is going up, that's okay. But if you're, the scale is going down, but you're not changing your body size, it just means you've lost muscle, added fat.
That's when we call them skinny fat.
Skinny fat. That is correct.
Oh, okay.
And we don't want to be skinny fat, meaning you could be a smaller person, but your body percentage, your body fat percentage is higher than it should be. That means you're not metabolically flexible. You're not in a good, healthy position. So then it's better to be way more, but have a smaller body fat percentage. So that's what we want to strive for, not just losing weight. And that's the problem. Number one, the first, I'm going to go through, I have 6, I think. Was it 6 I did?
Yeah, 6.
Yes,
6.
6. And then some ways to maybe adjust them. But 6 ways that might be preventing you from losing weight. And the first one is that you're not eating enough. Da, da, da. What do I mean with that? So the whole problem is metabolic adaptation. So the problem is many of us, we've lost a lot of weight throughout the years. I mean, you've lost pounds left and right. The problem is we're not maintaining it. But also, when you lose a lot of weight fast, and you're not know if it's body fat or lean body mass, your metabolism will slow down. It's called metabolic adaptation. So rapid fat loss often leads to messed up metabolic adaptation. And and your metabolism slowing down, meaning you're going to gain it all back and more when you stop the diet. So, why this happens is our body is very adaptable. So, when you start something and you reduce the caloric intake, meaning you're eating a lot less, the body will say, "Oh, we're in starving mode. Okay, I'm just going to make sure we're not burning a lot because we need to reserve energy in order to survive." So the less you eat, the less the body is burning. So now, where do you go from there? I mean, you can't deduct calories forever. Then you're going to end up eating nothing and still gain weight. So that's the important thing, is to make sure you're not slowing your metabolism down when you're wanting to lose weight. So making sure that you're keeping caloric intake up to a certain level and not just reducing calories. And we're going to go into, of course, then it really depends on what you're eating, not just how many calories, but where the calories are coming from. But that is coming up soon. Coming up soon. Stay tuned. Okay, so yes, that's number one. You're not eating enough and your body is in starvation mode. Number two, you are training incorrectly. So the problem, especially as women, what we do wrong is we overdo cardiovascular exercise. So anything where we sweat a lot and jump around a lot. So cardiovascular exercise will be running, biking, spin, Zumba to a certain extent, but anything where you're not working the muscles, you're just sweating and your cardiovascular intensity is high.
I think that's a societal thing for females. It's I know you've talked about it.
Yes, we have touched on it before.
And it seems to be like women are like, well, no, I don't want to.
Well, the thing is, of course, you should do some form of cardiovascular because it's good for the cardiovascular system and your heart. And yes, cardiovascular exercise will burn more calories. The problem is, it's only during that time, so not after the exercise. And where does it burn? Where does it get energy from? It will go into your muscle storage and get energy from there. Because when you're running, you've used up all your glycogen, which is the fast energy to burn. And then where are your stores? Then they're going to go into the muscle because that's an easy way to get energy fast. So the more cardio you do, the more you're depleting your muscles. So again, it's about that. So now you can get into skinny fat. And I have been at fault doing this for years. I mean, I used to run 7 miles a day for 3-4 times a week.
I thought about doing that.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, where do you go from there? If I wanted to increase or burn more calories or lose weight, am I going to run 10 miles every day? Because...
Well, that's what you usually think of. You correlate, hey, I'm just going to do, an hour of cardio and 4 times a week. And it's what you're doing is total opposite of what you need to be doing.
So what you should do instead is to really work resistant training. So even though resistant training, so working the muscles, it could be with weights, it could be with body weight, doing push-ups, pull-ups, all of those things. Or it could be with bands. I've talked about that in the past too. But something where the muscle, there is a pushing and a pulling of muscle so that you're really working, breaking down muscle fiber in order for them to grow and build stronger. Even though you're not burning as many calories at the time of the exercise, With muscle, you're burning more calories even in resting position or resting state. So muscles are like metabolic spanks or metabolic sinks. You can eat way more food the more muscle you have. Da, da, da. Yes. So
Wow.
the trick to training is to concentrate on resistance training, which I've said 100 times before. And then you do cardio, sprinkle in cardio here and there to get the pulse up and get the heart working. And the best type of cardio work to do, can you guess where I'm going?
Well,
With my app, with my
HIIT?
hack, HIIT
So mailboxes.
exercise.
I love mailboxes.
So really working, because it's been proven that working HIIT, high intensity, so short spurts, all out spurts of whatever cardiovascular, you could do jump ropes, you could do high knees, you could do whatever you want. That will not break down muscle mass at the same extent as if you're just running at a slower, lower pace. That will break down muscle way faster. So HIIT workout, which is also more time efficient because when you work all out, you can only do it for a shorter amount of time, even when you have full recovery for 40 seconds, a minute,
that
whatever
is
you
not
need in
full
between.
recovery.
But you get the same workout in 15 minutes that it might take you an hour to do otherwise.
And it's more beneficial.
It's so much more beneficial because it actually is also proven that HIIT workout can build a little muscle because you're going in that all-out intensity. So yes,
I concur.
Yes. So so when you lose the muscle mass from cardio, your metabolic rate decreases because there is less muscle that requires energy. So we said muscles are metabolic spanks because muscle needs a lot of maintenance, meaning when we're just sitting here relaxing, my muscles and your muscles are requiring more energy. Say, feed me. So it's going to go into the fat storage, or the more it's going to keep burning. But if we don't have muscle, there's no burning going on. The fat sits stills. The muscle keeps moving. Yes. So sprinkle in cardio, but concentrate on resistance training. Yes. So a little bit of a balance in there. Yeah. Don't just do one. Definitely don't just do cardio. Okay. Got it?
Got it. No, I got it.
Okay.
No, I love to lift weights.
Yes, we do. We do love to do it. But I think, and again, we've said this before, don't worry about bulking. It won't happen. All right. Number 3, a lack of a variability in diet and exercise. So keeping on the same theme here, our bodies are used to adapting to things. So if we keep doing the same exercise, like me with my 7 miles, 3 to 4 times a week, the body will then go, oh, okay, I know this. I know I need to keep at a very low pace. It just gets so the more I do it, the less and less and less energy I burn, because the body just adapts and says, I know this. I know it's going to happen. Same thing with diet. If you keep eating the same things over and over and over, the body adapts. And you're not, it becomes, because the body is super efficient. And that's how we've survived all these thousands of years. That's how people survive starvations or have gone through, that were in concentration camps.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They could survive even though they barely got any food because the body adapted to it. So it's important to shake it up. Don't do the same exercise every day. Shake it up. So you do certain things certain days and other things other days. Shake it up, keep the body guessing, and that way the muscles guessing, because they don't know what's going on. Then they can't. They're going to keep that metabolic rate high because they're not sure of how much energy is going to be needed. All right. Any questions on that, Ingrid?
No, I think it's like
good.
the human race.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing is boring.
Yeah, and with food too, even if you're eating a very nutritious diet, just keep changing it a little bit, because you're going to get more out of it if you switch it up. All right. So number 6, no, 4. Sorry. Number 1 was eat more. Maybe you're not eating enough. This one is the other side of
rate is really fast.
Yeah. Number 4 is the other side of the coin, where maybe your calories are creeping up. So calorie intake creep.
That's easy to do. Not for me.
No.
But I have a lot of my friends. It's a very, I think we spoke about it with, coffee creamers and dressings.
Yes.
It's so easy.
Yeah. So what we mean here is that we might fool ourselves. Yes, she's now reading my notes and seeing that that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So unless you are, tracking calories, exact calories, is kind of hard, because you do know that food companies are allowed to have a 25% discrepancy. Yeah. So that's okay if it's within 25% of what they say. So actually calories could be 25% higher than they say on the label.
So I'm assuming they're going to do 25% less.
Yes.
So you can
but
eat
it's
it.
Also, when you go to restaurants and there's fast food in a lot of places, not in Florida yet, but for instance, New York and Boston had it too, where you have to put the calories of that meal. Well, it depends on who's making it, because some people might add too much more. I mean, I think Chipotle has it now too, but they don't have exact measurements when they pour the rice and the guacamole on there. So yes, so you always gotta be. So the tracking of the calories is hard unless you're a nutritionist and know exactly. There are apps out there for it, but what you have to do is pretty much walk around with a food scale in order to know exactly.
That would be not fun,
and it's not gonna happen. So be cautious with reading anything. Oh, this is only X calories. Probably is more than you think. And another way too, we keep fooling ourselves, is reading on the front, not reading the label, on the front of the packaged food, when it says heart healthy or it says gluten free. Is that the new most
healthy thing to do?
No, well, it's the most popular thing to put on. Now, gluten free does not mean fat free, or does not mean calorie free. No, just because something doesn't have gluten means it's just one thing that's not in there. If you're not sensitive to gluten, you don't necessarily have to pay attention. But I thought so too, that when it's gluten free, then it's not as many carbs. There can be more carbs, because there are replacement carbs. They just don't contain any gluten. So yeah, don't fool yourself thinking. And as Ingrid says, to where the calories keep creeping in is our coffee creamers, our salad dressing. Lots of, and that can be as much as 200-300 calories. That
easily.
That is, that we're eating, that we're not thinking about.
And sometimes in the same day, because you have your coffee in the morning, and then you have your salad for lunch and dinner.
And another thing is juices. People drink a lot of juice. Don't drink fruit juices. Orange juice is not a health drink. So anything with a juice, anything that's juiced, any fruit that's juiced, even carrot juice, what you've done is you've extracted all the fiber from the food, and you've just taken the liquid, the water, and the sugar. So you're drinking sugar water, and you're leaving all all the
When you
fibers.
juice?
Yes. So think about it. So a glass of orange juice, like a regular tall glass of orange juice, it's probably about 5 oranges pressed.
Yes.
Could you eat 5 oranges in a
No.
row? No. If you did, you would be so full, but you can gulp down a glass of orange juice in 2 seconds. It's the exact same amount of sugar, but you're leaving out all the fiber that the fruit meat um,
So it's better to
contains.
blend when you do juice?
You should actually just take away the fruit juice and eat the fiber. Use the fiber and when you bake or put it in your
Okay.
yogurt or whatever. So yeah, fruit juices are pure sugar. So actually, orange juice is very similar sugar content to Coca-Cola. Yeah.
I don't buy juices.
I don't either, but people, that's another one of those, oh, I just had some juice. Well, that's pure sugar right there. Apple juice, orange juice. And I mean, you might be able to find, and don't be fooled by the no added sugar. It just means they didn't add sugar to it, but the fruit already has sugar in it. So be very careful about those things. All right, number 5. Stress and hormones. Isn't it lovely to be a woman? Yes. So yeah, stress, we've talked about that before too. Cortisol, which is the stress hormone, definitely can make it difficult to lose weight. And chronic stress, we often stress eat. A lot of people stress eat. When you get emotionally stressed, you tend to turn to food as a comforter or soother. But also, when it comes to our female hormones, sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, of course, when they fluctuate, as they will in perimenopause and menopause, it can make losing weight a lot harder. Now, that's another subject that we need an expert on, and we will have on. But a good thing to do if you're feeling that you're doing all the right things and you're feeling out of whack, I mean, your sleep, your emotion, and all that is hot and cold and all that, really do a hormone test with your doctor or your functional medicine. I did a Dutch test, which is the sex hormone test. It was really super informative. And actually, my hormones were in, it's called Dutch test. It's a urine, dry urine test. You pee on pieces of paper different times in the day, and then you send them all in.
Oh, when you said dry, I'm like, how?
Yes, you dry your urine. But no, so it definitely, if your hormones are out of whack, it will make weight loss harder. So that could be something you want to look into if you think that's an issue. But if stress and cortisol is something that we can try to lower, and we've talked about it before with trying to find some mindful type of meditation or yoga or just walk in nature, is a great way to lower stress and lower cortisol. And then the last one, which is Ingrid's favorite, is inadequate sleep. Definitely hinders weight loss. Do you have anything to say about that? Yeah. So why is that? Well, first of all, poor sleep affects the blood sugar. So even one night of poor sleep, meaning 7 hours or less, or less than 7 hours, can really increase your blood sugar levels. And that's after one. So can you imagine if you do it night after night after night? So, and also when we are tired, our blood sugar is high, we don't make the right choices for food. Then salad is not what we crave. We want something fast. We want something that tastes good. But so yes, sleep really, really is super, super important, especially for us women, especially as we age. Do you have anything to say about that?
I am not aging. I am
Okay.
just
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, inadequate sleep also really affects our hunger. So you're going to be hungrier and crave more when you are tired. All right. So how can we just some quick, now we painted all the negative. I have a hard time speaking English. I speak in Swedish for 2 weeks.
You can speak Swedish. We'll have to do a translation thing.
No, but so we painted all the things that could be potentials to why you're not losing stomach fat. So what are some quick things to think about? Things to do? Because we do like to leave you with some action items.
Yeah.
So number one, look at your diet. What is it that you're eating? Where are your calories coming from? And to add to that, you gotta read food labels. You gotta turn that package, or hopefully most of your food is not coming from a package.
Yeah.
It has this whole foods. It's super important that processed food is doing no one any good. But look at the labels, because just because it says healthy, how much sugar does it have? How much fat does it have? What's really in there? Because again, it can say heart healthy, or it can say gluten free, or all the right things.
I just think it's so bizarre that they do that.
But it doesn't mean that it is healthy. So and again, we've said this before, the less ingredient, the better. So yes, look at your diet and where the food is coming from. I've said this so many times, increase protein in your diet. And because protein is what builds muscle. And I think if I need to hit you over the head even harder on this, you need that muscle mass.
And
so
that
important.
Was really huge for you this year.
Yes. So that's why I quit being a vegetarian. Can you imagine how awesome I would have felt if I had eaten more protein throughout the years? Oh, well.
I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's why I quit being a vegetarian. I needed more protein. My protein intake was way too low.
Which, if this is your first time listening to us, you have to check out our episode where Christina shocks me in her life hack.
After 34 years. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, increase protein in your diet, and also protein makes you feel fuller. So you're going to eat less. The more protein you eat less other crap. Then build muscle. Be a muscle girl. Muscle mommy.
Yes.
The more muscle really is such a great tool for longevity. So the more muscle, there's just so many benefits, not just to look at how we look and skinny and cut, but skeletal muscle really has so many correlations to preventing falls as we age, preventing brittle bones. So it really is a key for longevity. And the more muscle, the more we can eat. Yay! When I was with my mom these 2 weeks, and we were food shopping and things, and she's like, "Oh, that's a lot." I said, "That's not enough." When we bought fish or chicken, and when we were sitting down eating, she looked at me like, "You really eat a lot." I'm like, "I know."
You?
Yeah, I do eat large quantities. I eat healthy, but I eat large quantities. Yeah. So, yep. Now, something that's super important with weight loss, and that I really want you to think about is, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight so I can get healthy," but it's the other way around. You got to get healthy so you can lose weight. And in order to lose that weight, you need to make sure your metabolic rate, your metabolism is high. So we're not going to start getting healthy by going on a diet. No, we're going to increase our food intake. We're going to increase our movement. We're going to increase our resistance training. And then after that, if you feel like you still want to lose a few pounds, then it's much easier to go on a so-called cut, where your caloric intake is less than your output. So you're burning more calories than you're taking in. You can do that, but you can't do it forever. You cannot be on a diet forever. So yes, if you feel, so for instance, for me, I've got that little show Dancing with Vera Stars coming up. So I know 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before, I can go on a cut.
Or
so then I can lose like
cut your hair.
Those no, I'm not gonna cut it. No, I'm not gonna lose muscle. So I'm building muscle now. I'm keeping my metabolism high,
more defined.
So then I can be more defined, and I might lose tiny bit of muscle when I do that, but it's only going to be for 2 weeks. So then I can go back to. So that's if you have a special event to go to. It's much easier to go on a shortcut, lose a few pounds, get into that dress or whatever you want to be, but you can't be in that state forever.
That's exciting.
Yes. And then finding the ways to lower stress. What kind of ways? What do you need to do in order to? And everyone's different. So yeah, running used to be mine. Now I do more walking. I do still run, but I do shorter distances and I do more HIIT running. But that's still a great mental release for me. And then Ingrid, we're all going to sleep. We're going to sleep just like Cinderella. Is she the one that slept? No, Sleeping Beauty. Cinderella. She was the one with the shoe. Sleeping Beauty. We're all going to be Sleeping Beauties. Yeah.
Sure.
So, how do you feel about this?
No, I think this is great.
Yeah.
I think it's all fantastic.
We got to get healthy so we can lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think so many of us have, and I can say too, as a admission of fault, with the amount of intermittent fasting I was doing, I was together with all the running, I was completely messing up my metabolism. Yep, my metabolism went way down. So, because intermittent fasting, even though I still, instead of doing it all the time, now I do it a couple times a week
just
or sporadically. Reset. Yes, because it is, then you're shocking the body. Because again, the body got used to being in this fasting state was the norm.
Yeah.
And again, the body likes to adapt. So that was messing up my metabolism.
Yeah, I'm in the process of looking to see what works because I've been the same. A lot of people are like, oh, I've gained 10 pounds. I've been the same weight for 15 years.
So the interesting thing is then, is it the same? Are you the same size? Because we can be the same weight as we was, but did you have more muscle mass before? Maybe you have shifted to where, I mean, I'm not saying that's the fact, but a lot of people say, oh, I'm the same weight as I was in high school. Well, but your body composition might be completely different.
I'm still the same size. I just don't feel as great.
Okay. So it might be that your fat percentage have gone up and your muscle mass has gone down.
Yeah.
Which would make the scale stay the same, but your body composition different.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing now because I haven't been to the gym in a little bit because of time. I just haven't.
Yeah.
And I miss a lot going to the gym. So that's kind of where I'm at. And sleeping.
That's something she still needs to work on.
And food too. I have food, sleeping. Yeah. All of this is probably, Christina said, let's do an episode for Ingrid.
Yeah. But hey, the good news is you could be eating too little. So you could wanting to increase. So to clarify that too, if you notice that you eat if your caloric intake is like 1,300 calories a day, that is not sustainable. So how you start that is you increase your food intake, but you also increase your activity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So do more resistant training, then you can also increase the food intake, and that way you're increasing your metabolism, which then, if you want to go into a cut after that, makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Because where do you go if you're doing 1,300 calories and you need to lose weight? Where do you go? Sure, you can go run 7 miles a day, but then you're going to be skinny fat. So
that's not cute.
That's not cute, and it's especially not very healthy.
Well, that too.
So muscles equal long, healthy life. All right. Okay.
It was informative today.
Informative, yes.
Love it.
Love to hear your feedback. And again, we're not doctors or nutritionists. We just tell it as it is from our own life.
Yay.
All right. Until next time, all your muscle mommies out there, stay strong.
Cheers.
Cheers.